Hello, all of you delightful beings out there, and welcome to the stream. I am Razim, and this is Dwarf Fortress. And I am currently Asher the Labramon, god of death, lord of evil, all those things. Yes, yes, praise me, yes. But anyways, so we are going to be starting a new fort in order to teach New Year's a bit more about how to play the game. And of course, all of you watching can absolutely follow along. So the mods that we're going to be using are DF Hack, which you can find on Steam. It's a separate download. You just launch that and it'll launch Dwarf Fortress for you. And otherwise, the only mod of importance to this would be Clinodev's Dry Mines. It's a no aquifers mod. I know how to deal with aquifers, but they're just an annoyance. They can be useful, but at least for the start, just turn them off. But anyways, we're going to go in and create new world. I generally leave all of this normal, medium across the board, 100 years. I do, for this especially, I would recommend going everywhere for mineral occurrence. Because that, from as I understand it, it allows you to guarantee you're going to have every metal that you need. Because otherwise, any of these other options, you may wind up not having any iron at all in your fortress, and that is a problem. When you need iron to survive, yeah, there are ways to trade for it, and you can melt down other gear that you trade for it and such. But for your first couple of runs, that's one of those challenge things, in my opinion. If you don't...
only got copper and they have iron.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of the way Dwarf Fortress works, is it really is just a matter of, if you've got iron and they've got copper, you win. There is a little bit of nuance to that, but in general, that's kind of the way it works. But anyways, for mods, I'm going to... Alright. So you do click the mods button down there before you hit create world to enable those. And I'm going to enable the kobold thing because I like kobolds. I also have audible alerts, but that is up to you if you want to use that. I like it, but it can also get very annoying when you've got a whole bunch of task failed, task failed, task failed notifications going on. So, use at your own risk. Otherwise, we've got all races playable. I like to include that. And we won't add any of these others. There's better pause play buttons. Just a cosmetic thing that makes it a little easier. Another cosmetic thing of metal plate floor. It just has a retexture of the vanilla metal. And then you've got interface tweaks that gives a slightly better look to things. But yeah, that's all we're going to be adding here. Yeah. And then we're going to go to create world. And at this point, the world is being created with all its lore and details and civilizations, so on and so forth. And this is where you're seeing all of that being made. It's now forming lakes on my end and putting in other stuff, and you're actually getting the world being created before your eyes. If you go with higher settings than what we went with, Sirio, yes, it can take a while. Especially if you set the world history higher than 100 years, it's going to take a long time. Sometimes. Depends on your PC mostly, but, you know.
Remember back in the day, trying to set for 250 years or longer, and I'd just get up, do something for 15 minutes, and come back.
And sometimes it would still be processing.
Yeah.
Because as you can see here... Oh, 1 second. Art managerial thing. Alright, but as you can see here, this is year 100. The game has automatically generated a full history for almost 14,000 people. Then you've got 72,000 events, at least on mine. And these are all different things, like you can see here. The dwarf Olon Ormouth constructed square tools for the greed of Merc. The late armory of the Uncommon Corridors founded Tomb Shocked. So on and so forth. Yes, you're right, Sirio. You're right, Sirio. 14,000 important people. There is still histories for everybody else. That is just the, the Alexander the Greats of this world. This game is insane. There's a reason, like, literally they have a mode where you can just look, you create the world, and then all you're doing is looking through its randomly generated lore. And people legit use that a lot. But we're going to hit play now. At this point, it's going to save the world and kind of get things prepped, making sure everything's noted and all that. And then we'll be able to choose our embark site. Yeah, the Legends mode is where you can just look at the history of the world. Yeah. Which, by the way, you can switch to the Legend. Like, you can go in, start a fortress, and then go to the Legends mode later and see all the detail of what you were doing in your fortress as well. But we're going to go with Fortress mode. I don't honestly know how adventure mode works. It's something I've always wanted to check out, but maybe at another time. Definitely not doing a tutorial on it until I know I got the basis of it.
I used to play it back in the old days, but I haven't. Yeah, it's been ages since I touched it, like years.
Yeah. So yeah, here the idea is your people set out and then, you got a couple of weeks of travel, even though they don't know where they're going yet, apparently. I'm going to go ahead and skip tutorial. They do have one built in, but from what I remember of it, it wasn't exactly the best.
Yeah, I tried it out. Wasn't amazing.
It was definitely a step in the right direction for this game. But it gave you like five, you know, a tiny little bit of stuff, and then was like, okay, have fun. And for those that don't know, losing is fun in this game. So of course they're okay with you, you know, having fun. Always make sure that you have the Dwarf Fortress wiki open. That's dwarffortresswiki.org. Don't care if you're an expert, even experts still use the wiki. I don't know.
I refer to it every now and then.
Yeah, I don't know anybody that does not refer to the wiki at all.
Particularly for plants, I've had to do it.
The wiki is a blessing. The wiki is also hilarious. Like, seriously, just go on and look at some of the articles, and especially if you scroll down to the bottom of them, a lot of the articles have random fun little things that they've put in there. Like literally, you'll find a section that's rated D for dwarf. I'm trying to find an example right now. I've got a few tabs of the wiki still open from my last run. Oh, here's one. It's a short one, but on the Strange Mood page, this section has been rated D for dwarf. It may include witty humor, not so witty humor, bad humor, in-jokes, pop culture references, and references to the Bay 12 forums. Don't believe everything you read, and if you miss some of the references, don't worry. It was inevitable. And on the Strange Mood here, it is widely said that Tarn Adams, one of the devs, has been in the grips of a fey mood for 2 decades now, and we are playing his artifact. However, neither humans nor giant toads can enter strange moods, so this must surely be a joke. If I recall correctly, he goes by Toady on the forums.
Toady1.
Toady1, yeah.
I think.
So it is rather, you know, that's just one small example of the wonderful, wonderful humor of the wiki. But either way, what we are going to be looking for that I would personally recommend for anyone is to try and find yourself at least a stream. Ideally something, you know, a little bit bigger if you can. But streams can be extremely helpful for trade in particular. Most of the time you will wind up with a whole bunch of mussels. Mussels, you could take their shells and turn them into crafts, and they're basically just free craft. And so when somebody comes by, they're not worth a whole lot, but it's still a very useful way to get a whole bunch of crafts for basically free, that you can then trade away for stuff you actually need. But we're gonna choose Origin Civilization here because I've got the mod for this. And yeah, we're going with kobolds.
I'm curious, do the kobolds play any different, those ones? Or they just play the same as dwarves?
The ones that I have in particular, they're the exact same as dwarves.
Fair enough.
there's a couple of wording differences, and I believe they did actually combine two of the noble or the managerial roles. Um, but yeah, they're otherwise it's the same as kobolds or the same as dwarves, and that's what I specifically wanted.
Works. In my case, I have a dwarven civilization that only has a single settlement, so I am gonna choose that.
All right. I'll go with one that's smaller then. There we go. Population 930, though they do still have 17 settlements.
Okay, I lied a bit. They'd have 7, but still, only 230 population. The flaxen ropes here. I could only see 1.
I do want to have a chance of being attacked, just because the game can get a little boring if you're not ever going to get attacked. So, these kobolds. Oh, there's even less of these ones. Okay, cool. So yeah, shows I'm going with the basis of weathering.
Some of those name generations are amazing.
Oh yeah.
I do have a group of dwarves here called the Tool of Myth. They're really dwarfy dwarfs.
By the way, guys, I do want to point your attention to our tip goal. Whiskers is in need of food. He is actually running very low on food. So if you guys can help, there's the tip goal there. Otherwise, his commissions are open if anybody would like to get one. Just message me and we can hash out the details later. For now, like I said, we are looking for an embark site with water, with a stream. So you'll hit, oh, right, that's not... let's see. So I am going with these kobolds here, and while yes, you can embark close to goblins, you at least want to be on the same continent as your fellow, civilization, because apparently in the Dwarf Fortress world, they never have figured out how to sail. Which is a thing. Though I do recall seeing an article about Tarn wanting to basically make sailing fortresses. Basically,
That would
you
be
can.
cool.
Oh yeah, you can basically build a fortress that is just a giant ship, and just sail around the world with it. And holy crap, if he added that, I would never play any other mode again. Alright, so... right, there we go. Left click to zoom in a bit to find your actual embark. I'm gonna be looking... We got a few streams here, it looks like. You do, for your first playthrough, I would recommend a temperature that is warm, or I believe the other option is temperate.
If I remember, any colder than warm means that the river will freeze over every now and then during the winter.
That's not
Or
such
be
a
frozen
problem
completely.
as it is you're trying to keep your dwarves warm.
Oh.
Yeah. It's not always a problem, but it is a thing to consider. So we got multiple constructions here. It looks like there's probably... Yes, there's a road here called the Ugly Roads. And we got a stream. So we've got clay, very deep soil, and... Actually, is that red?
That's something I did not know, actually. I did not notice that the roads actually had names.
Everything has names.
Here's the way of breakfast. I know where I'm going tomorrow morning.
I do like to embark in a location with both sand and clay. So you do... I am going to look around a little bit more here. So this location that I've got here is... It's got clay, it's got sand, it's got the very deep soil, which are all very useful in their own ways. However, it's going to be a little bit of a problem with the goblins literally just right here. Oh, we are going to be surrounded by goblins on this one. Haha.
Batten down the hatches.
I think we'll try and embark over here somewhere. Yeah, this will work better.
Most of these areas I'm finding, most temperate ones have all the sand, and the warm areas don't have any sand. I guess it's not that important, though.
Temperate is usually okay. You definitely don't want to embark somewhere cold for your first time. And somewhere hot can also have the same problems as, well, not same, but the opposite end of the spectrum as the cold. And yes, Sirio, I agree. I wish the embark finder was better. But it is what it is. Often looking near oceans, you'll be able to quite often find both clay and sand. Which is where I'm looking at here. I'm not too fond of the fact that trees are a little sparse. That can be problematic because you do need a lot of wood.
Can't rely on having lignite, coal, or other materials like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go down here. We've got the goblins that are a day's travel, but on the other side of a friend. So I think this would be our best location. That is true, Sirio. Soap is a pain in the absolute... How far are we in? Okay. It is a pain in the ass to produce. Hey, Delimited. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and embark. All right. Yeah. I'm worried about the warm temperature. No, the warm temperature's fine. I meant to say the sparse trees. but it should be fine. We've got ways to deal with limited wood. Wait, is that actually a stream?
Okay. Let me see. Found a stream here which two biomes seem to intersect, and one has clay and the other one has sand.
That is perfect. Yeah, do check the biomes in your area, because you could just go. You may be able not be able to find it in the first place. Though I do forget how to actually show the individual biomes on this version. I usually just scroll around and just check things with my mouse, but otherwise, you can see this box. That's the area it's going to cover. So like right here, it does not say there's a stream, but you move one over and okay, yep, there's the stream. It's going to be in my area. And you could just check the biome that way. I know there used to be a different way to do it, but I don't know if they actually have that in this version. Oh.
Yeah, it was like you could press F1, F2, F3 while you're doing it, and it would show up the different biomes with flashing X's.
Yeah, I think they did away with that.
That's a shame, because that was actually useful.
I'm doing alright, Krusovs. How are you? Yeah, close to the ocean, you do often wind up with salt water. That does make things difficult. So, I'm gonna be looking elsewhere. Like, I don't think it actually has salt water, but usually will say so. But I guess we're going elsewhere then. If you can't find both clay and sand, it's okay. Sand is just useful if you want to get into glass making. But
Clay's nice for the furry.
yeah. So we're just gonna embark over here, and really, that's also salt water? Is everything on this world salt water?
All the water is salt water. I think that's meant for aquifers, though. That warning. I don't think the rivers end up being salt water.
I don't think so either. Well, they can be.
I know lakes can be.
Yeah, you can have saltwater rivers. But it should not be saltwater that far inland.
No, it shouldn't.
So I'm going to go with a different origin civilization. No goblins near there.
Yeah, I got the same thing. It's got salt water where I am. There's also a mysterious site nearby.
Ooh, those can be fun.
Mysterious lair. I remember there was tricks to be able to get rid of, to turn salt water into fresh water in the game, but I don't remember them.
Okay, we're gonna go with these ones instead. Surrounding serene. We don't want that easy of a situation.
Okay, this one I hope is a little bit better. It's only going to be temperate though.
And yes, what Sirio said is correct. Fire clay is the best clay to get because you don't need to glaze it and bake it. Glazing can be a bit of a process.
It was buggy back in the day as well.
Well, there will be goblins near here. And we'll also have humans nearby, which they can also be helpful for trade. I always prefer a major river, but it is so hard to find actual rivers.
I don't think major rivers tend to generate at all, like, and if they do, they tend to have, civilizations on them.
Yeah. Well, they've got major rivers, minor rivers, I think that's it for rivers. Because then I think it goes to stream and brooks.
And to that person saying that serene, that's too easy, that's what terrifying's for, right?
Well, we'll try here instead. We got clay. Yeah, we'll move over. We'll go about here, I think, for our launch. Because then we'll have sand from the desert and clay from the non-desert area.
So I have moved to another area there. Yep. It's going to have. It's a meeting point of looks like two brooks, maybe. It might not even be brooks. It might be only streams.
Brooks are smaller than streams.
Yeah, they're brooks. They're an area where two brooks meet into a stream at the very edge of the map there.
Perfect. Really? This is saltwater too? You know what? I'm just going to confirm. We're going to see if it's actually that bad.
Mine's a savage area, but that's fine.
Yeah.
It's a little. I remember it's a little harder.
We're just going to go with normal for both of those, and we're going to go with played now, at least for the start. Prepare carefully is something you'll want to consider later. Yeah, the river might not be saltwater, but the ponds might, so that's what we're kind of going to check real quick.
Ooh. I embarked. Okay. Oh, wow. That's something I haven't seen for many years.
What's that?
I embarked right next to a waterfall.
Oh, those are really nice. You will definitely want to set up your fortress entrance near that.
Literally, the wagon is right next to it.
Perfect. So yeah, this location, it's good. We got fresh water. I don't know what it's talking about with the salt water. I'm not seeing anywhere that actually has salt water here. I think the game was confused, and probably that other place that I was going to embark was probably fine. It does suck that I'm not going to get the olive trees. Those would have been definitely very nice, but those are a rare occurrence anyways. Ooh, honeybees. So I like to take a look around the area, kind of determine what all's here. see the various trees that I have available to me. This particular place does not have a nice... So, this location, we've got a hill that we could dig into here, but we don't really have any mountains, which can be difficult for setting up a good defensive fortress, but it's still very much possible. And also, if you ever lose track of your wagon, you can just hit F1 to get brought right back to it.
Good to know.
I'll go into how to set up, well, actually, I'll go in and explain that right now. So, to set up those hotkeys, you'll go up near the mini-map in the upper right, and there is a little dotted box with an X in it and an arrow.
Ooh.
That is how you set hotkeys.
Okay. Didn't realize they changed that.
Yeah. So the second button is where you get your camera where you want it. So I guess we should probably go like over here somewhere. That's gonna pop up because I already assigned it to where the wagon was, but you know. That sets the location. And then you can rename where it is. And there is this button here. To set it is the one with the X and the 4 arrows. To go to it is the dotted box icon. Alternatively, you can see they have hotkeys assigned. But if we were to have, like, say this were a proper mountain, I would then start digging into it. I like to go a little ways into a mountain generally, and then start digging down. On this one, I'm going to go a little different route because we've got all this open space around us. It's going to be harder, but that's okay. Otherwise,
I think here of my setup, from what I can see, is like, because the vast majority of these streams and the brook are down much lower, I think I want to actually tunnel down.
Yeah. For me, I'm going to be tunneling down right in the starting area here.
Because I got like a... Basically, they can... anything that comes along that doesn't fly is only going to access this one area from the south.
Well, that is definitely a very nice setup. Though keep in mind, you'll also need access for traders to get in.
Indeed.
But on this first go through here, what you'll first want to do, I like to set some tree chopping orders. By default, all of your priorities are going to be priority 4. The lower the number, the higher priority it is. So, you know, number 1 priority, that's what your dwarves, or in my case, kobolds, are going to charge to do. They're going to go get that done as fast as possible. But either way, to chop down trees, you just hit that stump and axe button and mark some trees. I like to mark quite a few of them. I do generally try to be careful about harvesting them over top of these little stagnant pools, which I can go over how to make them not stagnant later. And yes, dwarves do often get stuck on trees. And yes, they do warn of dwarves getting stranded in trees. Serio.
I'm stuck in this tree. I live here now.
Yeah, the dwarves like to steal the step ladders from each other for some reason.
You only have to worry and start stealing them from under other dwarves, if that's possible.
They do steal the step ladders from their fellow dwarves. But yeah. So I'm going to mark a few trees to get chopped down. Don't worry about chopping down too many. If you have elves nearby, they will at some point come to you and be like, "How dare you chop down our trees? Don't you know they're living?" And other nonsense. We don't really pay much attention to tree hugging elves. And they fight with wooden weapons and such, so honestly, don't worry about angering them, because as long as you've got even like copper armor, they literally can't do anything to you. They're just gonna whine at you, and that's it. But otherwise, yep, I have marked some trees to be chopped down. Then we're going to go to the pickaxe. And with this one, I would just leave it as the default for normal setup and dig into the mountain like I said before. But since we've kind of got this very large open space, I'm just going to go ahead and start digging a stairwell right away. I'm going to put this... I kind of like the idea of it going, you got this little bend in the river here, so we're going to go ahead and go up a little bit, and this will be our start. To scroll, so I just click the staircase, or the stairwell button. I like to go with a 3x3, because dwarves will run into each other. And it can it can slow things down. So I like to just give especially our major staircases and hallways and such, extra space. You can go bigger, you can go smaller if you want, but that's what I like to do. But yeah, so you select your area, and then just scroll your mouse wheel down. As you can see next to it, it says 3x3x20 right now. That's generally where I like to start. So, somewhere between 20 and 25. We'll go ahead and go with 25 this time.
I'll go with 20.
Alright. And again, you can modify priorities if you want by hitting the arrow over here. It says show advanced options, and this is how you can set the priority for how you're mining things. Give me just 1 second. You had some issues with the new staircase designating systems where sometimes when expanding the stairs, the dwarves randomly removed the up part of the stairs in the middle of it and got stuck underground? I have not run into anything like that, but I'm also very deliberate on how I do things. I guess that's something I should go ahead and cover real fast right now. Erasing what you've marked. So in this case, if you want to, like, say you decide, oh, I don't actually like this staircase being here. You hit this little eraser button, and then just click and drag. And you can go multiple floors with it. Of course, that is where I want it, but, you know, I'm just going to scroll down another floor, make sure it's lined up, and go back up to the surface. Like so. And now we're going to unpause by hitting the space button, or you can use the two buttons up here in the upper right next to the mini-map. And our dwarves, or in my case kobolds, get to work. You can see that some of our people, you know, they've started chopping down the trees. Oh, we got lucky. Those trees next to the pool did not actually fall in the water.
I hate that when that happens, when they fall into the water.
Yeah.
It's too bad for it.
If it falls into the water, it's basically gone. Don't bother trying to get it back.
Apparently, I got a message popping up. Somebody assumed the decision to the queen of the flaxen rope.
Repeat that?
So, yep, I just immediately got him after they chopped down a few trees and started doing the. Got some a message saying someone has assumed the position of the queen of the particular civilization. Man,
interesting. Is it somebody in your actual fortress?
That's what I'm gonna have to check.
To do so, you go down to the very bottom left. There's a little citizen dwarf icon, and you can double check the name compared to the notice.
So I gotta remember the name because I have to press OK to click that. Yes. Yes. It is one of the 7
Oh boy. So, I've seen things like this happen before. Next thing I want you to check for me is go ahead and right-click to exit that menu, and then click on the crown button in the bottom left.
Yep.
Are they listed as a noble in here?
They are listed as monarch.
Go ahead and share your screen with me, by the way, on Discord here.
Okay, just give me a second. It'll take a bit.
Not a problem.
There you go.
Okay, honestly, I would say just this might be a failed start.
We're having fun.
Yeah. You have lost to having a queen.
I think I know from back in the day why that could be the case. It could be.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. It could be that the civilization I picked is dying or is dead. Did not have a ruler to begin with on the start of year 100.
Yeah, it's so the reason it has there's many different reasons that can happen, but it's always a matter of the world history. Clearly, for some reason, there was not a queen. and thus you just happen to have one of your people chosen to be the new queen. It could be that there's a king that wanted to marry your one of your dwarves, and even though they're not living together and are probably, a couple days apart of travel, now, you got a king over here and a queen over there. It could be that literally 5 days into your fortress existing, the leader of your faction got assassinated or something. And there's so many possible explanations. You'd have to go into Legends mode to see why. Um, but welcome to Dwarf Fortress. You're having fun already.
I've already lost 5 days in.
I will say you can make this work. Just be aware that dwarf might wind up being very annoying to deal with.
Because I can see a lot of red there.
Yes. Nobles require very particular setups for their living situation. Most of them require at least a bedroom, a private dining room, a throne room or office, and some of them will require a tomb as well. And then on top of that...
Looks like if I highlight over them, it tells me exactly what they need.
Yes.
And this one does require a tomb.
Yeah. So you hover over these icons. I was going to cover this later. Was not expecting, the person I'm teaching to just suddenly have a queen. You do have time to try and meet their demands. But when you're first starting out, it's probably going to be a few years in game before you can. And then it depends on the specific dwarf on whether they're going to be patient or start throwing a tantrum and trying to kill everybody. Which is why I would just recommend exit and make a new... or abandon this fortress and make a new one.
Pick a different civilization probably as well.
I wouldn't say that, because technically that queen should still be somewhere in the world.
Bit of a shame though with that waterfall. It's like...
Well, you can reclaim the existing site. So you could abandon this place, and then come back here and reclaim it. And then you'll get that waterfall back, and, you got it. There you go. You're just coming in with a fresh set of dwarves.
Oh, I can do that, I guess. Just abandon the fortress to ruin, because retiring it doesn't get rid of it.
Yeah, abandon it to ruin. So we are going to pause for the time being to let New Year's get caught back up here, guys. Because, I am teaching New Year's, and... yeah, save to this timeline.
I have learned a few things. Like, I wasn't aware of the priority existing.
Oh yeah, priority is very important.
I just will rebuild it, resettle the area, and hope that it doesn't happen again. If it does, I'll just grin and bear with it. Now I just gotta remember where I settled.
Yeah, that's the hardest part. Raijin! Mwah.
Mwah.
Hello, Raijin.
So, it should be there as an abandoned site. So you'll be clicking that reclaim/unretire button down there in the bottom right.
Yep.
Duke.
And I suppose I haven't ever actually tried to reclaim a ruin that... Oh yeah, that looks like the one that last
yeah.
one. So then just click reclaim. No, click reclaim unretire again.
Click that reclaim. Yep.
Yeah.
I am blind sometimes. There we go. Okay, pause it.
And as you can see, you're actually a little bit better off because now you've got some of the stuff from before. One thing to note, as you can see, there's a bunch of things that are forbidden to your dwarves. So in the bottom right, you'll see a button, or the bottom bar in the middle, you'll see a button with a lock, a trash can, fire, and an eye. You click that, and then you'll click the unlock button, and then just click and drag over those forbidden items. I do it on the wagon as well.
Yeah, another wagon. Cloning wagon.
Yeah, the previous wagon, it's still there. They just abandoned it. That queen should have moved somewhere else. You shouldn't wind up with that again. But I guess we'll find out. So yeah.
Okay. Let's do this again.
So, with your particular setup there, I would actually cancel all that digging. Well, actually, I guess you've already... Yes. So... Or, I mean, you could stick with it, but what I would recommend, because you have that waterfall, go ahead and scroll your mouse over top of that, yeah, it says open space, so you gotta keep scrolling down to find where the water actually is.
Okay,
so that's
it's elevation 13. Elevation 13. So it is 8 deep.
What I would recommend is just to the left of where that waterfall is.
Roughly here.
Yeah, that is where I would build the staircase going down to just above the river area. And then dig out and build, for now, a wooden... build a wooden bridge across the river to the other side, and then start digging your fortress into the mountain on the right side of that river. The reason for this is that waterfall gives mist, and your dwarves will really... No, go up a bit.
I just...
Another setup, like right below that tree, yeah.
Yep.
Mist makes dwarves happy. It gives them happy thoughts.
So 8 deep here, or 7 deep roughly.
Go ahead and place that, and then go with the 7 for right now. Now mouse over down there at the bottom of the staircase. Okay, that's open space. Perfect. Go one more down. Scroll to
downward
the right.
slope. Still open space.
Okay, so
Probably
you
do it
want to
one more.
go one more down, yeah. But yeah, the reason for this is every time your dwarves cross that bridge to go into the fortress proper, they're gonna get misted. And that makes them happy.
Fair enough.
And hello there, Zeno. And yes, I am teaching New Year's how to play Dwarf Fortress, Zeno.
Has it gone exactly to plan?
Yeah, New Year's wound up with a queen right away. Actually, don't keep it paused for a moment. Let me pop this out. Oh no, wrong button. I want to show this on screen real quick.
Fair enough.
Just so, because again, we're doing a tutorial, so might as well. I just gotta set this up real quick. That one. Yes. So here is New Year's screen. So you can see that they've got that little, actually, is it showing the mouse? I don't know. Well, either way, you can see that they've got that, area there to the right of where I told them to dig their, stairs down. That is the waterfall area. You got the river there. It's crashing down quite a ways. So I'm having them, as you can see there, it says, scroll up one more. It says open space over the top of the river there. Go ahead and go down one. There's some more open space there. And then this is the river itself. Obviously, we do not want to dig into the river. So we go one more space up. And this open space is where we'll be digging the, or building a bridge across to the right side. I would say go ahead and do, switch away, stay on that level. Switch to the pickaxe down there on the bottom in the middle. And go ahead and mark those 9 tiles to the right there. You will get an alert about that water being, or that stone being damp. In this case, it's okay to ignore it. To ignore it, you see that arrow down there?
Yep.
To the right of that, you got the options for uninterrupted digging through damp or warm tiles. So go ahead and click that.
Okay.
I don't know if it actually worked.
Well.
I think...
Guess we'll find it.
Yeah, we'll find out in a moment. I think, if I recall, you might actually need to press the... Let me double check for myself here. Oh, yeah, you gotta click the button here. So go back into that.
Yep.
Click the pickaxe with the lava and water.
There.
And then you see where it says damp dig off, warm dig off, up above. Click damp dig.
Control.
Oh, yeah, you can use
Okay.
Control D or just damp dig, and then reselect that tile. Now that should be set up right. If you click
Let's find out.
arrow, it should tell you. I think there's an indication. But either way. Hey, Nanook! How the heck are ya? So yeah,
Hello,
we're gonna let people start digging. Right, I should probably put away your screen.
Okay.
For
Go
now.
back to your screen.
You're full of egg! Jeez, there, Nanook. Way to say you got money without saying you got money. Man, you can afford eggs?
Damn, where I live, I can only get 2 cartons, and that's the max.
Yeah, eggs are not cheap here. But yeah, Nanook, I've got New Year's here, and I'm teaching them how to play Dwarf Fortress.
Interesting enough, I do have an egg. There's a major egg farm outside of the town I live in. My sister sometimes goes there to pick up eggs rather than getting them from the supermarket.
Nice.
There we go. Worked.
There's no eggs in the store where you live? Jeez, Yeah, eggs seem to be a premium everywhere right now. So right now, I'm just waiting for my kobolds to dig all the way down, and then we'll go ahead and kind of proceed from there. If I were a bit more, willing, I'd probably go ahead and, jump cut this for the recording, but at the same time, I don't want to go through that work, so enjoy the waiting with me, everybody.
Some lignite on the way down there too.
Very nice. Yeah, you're going to get a lot of notifications that you have struck bauxite, gray chalcedony, lignite, native copper, saltpeter, etc., etc.
Well, limonite is iron. It's iron ore, right? So that's nice.
I don't know. I always look at the wiki to see what they are.
I did a bit of study on material, on rocks and ores and stuff back in the day when I was in my teen years.
Nice.
So I know a little bit about it.
So, Zeno, to answer your question about whether there's differences between dwarves and kobolds, normally with Dwarf Fortress, yes. But the mod that I'm using that lets me even play as kobolds, period, no. The only difference is the names for my nobles. Like, instead of, I believe it's sheriff or something for, like, instead of a doctor, I've got caravan fixer, or clan fixer as it'll change to later, etc., etc. It's just different names for the nobles, and a couple of other cosmetic things, but otherwise, these kobolds function the same as the dwarves. Oh, the original Dwarf Fortress kobolds have been renamed by the mod? I did not realize that. But anytime that you are digging, you will want to regularly check back on your dwarves to make sure that they're not digging into unpleasant things. But for you, did you get all the way down there yet?
Yep.
Cool.
I have made it down there. Been there for a while, actually. I paused it there.
Ah, okay. So at this point, what you're going to want to do, I'll go ahead and, I'll just bring up your screen again. So at this point, you're going to want to press that hammer and blocks button.
This button here.
Yes. And then it is under constructions. And at this point, you want to build a bridge.
Where is... There it is.
Now, this one does not matter that much because you'll be taking this one apart later on and rebuilding it. This is just to get you across for now. However, to note a couple of things, in the upper right, you've got all of those different buttons there for determining first off whether the bridge is going to be raised or lowered, or raised and lowered, and which direction it raises to. So like in this case, the default one there is what you're gonna want to go with. But
Kind of like a drawbridge, that one is.
Huh?
Kind of like a drawbridge, that one is.
Yeah. And then you've got the button over there on the right. That one is simply retract or extend. So you got the ones on the left that it will actually raise up and become a wall. Wherever you place it in whichever direction you designate. Whereas the other one, like in this case, it could be useful. I always go with the raising option anyways, just because I like to have that wall in case of flying enemies.
But I think that'd be smart too, here. Nothing's probably going to half in from the water unless it has, I might. Even then.
Yeah, I usually just go with the raising bridge, the drawbridge. So this one, it doesn't matter much. Like I said, it's temporary.
I think you can just use the no, I think we don't have enough stone there for it.
I would just go with wood, honestly.
Yeah.
So yeah, you'll want to... The select material after placement is automatically selected. You're not going to be able to go all the way across yet because of that one block there. So yeah,
but
go ahead.
Once that is down, I should be able to get that block.
Yes. So what you'll do is place that there for now. And I just use the logs.
Yep, we'll use the paradise nut. We've got plenty of them.
And then eventually you can click on the bridge now. And because you have Dwarf DF hack, you can click that make top priority. And that will make one of your dwarves go down and do it right away.
Okay.
So go ahead and unpause. And yeah, you can see that mist going across that bridge. That's going to be a huge boon for your dwarves being happy.
Oops. Okay. Getting to work. I was even going over into the path. Wait, there we go.
Yeah.
Done.
So now you're going to click the pickaxe and mine across the other side of the bridge. And that's already enabled.
Yep, that D is still on.
Yeah, you want to be careful because that will stay enabled forever. I would just go ahead and dig, I'd say like 10 blocks in.
So there, and then disable it afterwards, after it's done.
Yeah. You didn't actually disable it.
I know, just gonna wait until it's actually done.
Fair.
There we go, now we can disable it.
Well, when you enable that, that is designating what you're about to select as being, dug.
Fair enough. But still. Well, there's hematite up. Hematite up there. That's also iron, I believe. That's also an iron ore. Okay, I'll pause it there.
I would dig, I would say 10 blocks in.
10 blocks in. All right.
Gives you plenty of space, and then on the other side of that is where you can start digging up and down here.
Oh, okay.
You know, going up, you can go ahead and, like, for me personally, I would absolutely dig, you know, go up floors and have those be my housing for my dwarves. And I would totally make some glass walls and put them in, because they're, you know, things can't break walls. So even if
Oh, we
it's
have
glass,
sand.
yeah, you could make some glass later on. And even though the dwarves don't really care about that thing, you know, for me personally, as you know, me liking the aesthetics of things, it's like, oh yeah, everybody's got this lovely view of the river right through, right out their bedroom, as well as that cyclops that's trying to eat their faces.
Oh, if I did that sort of stuff on Minecraft, I'm not on Dwarf Fortress.
Precisely. So now that they've dug that out, I would do the staircase and switch to digging a stairwell. I would start. Okay, you are paused. Good. Do the 3x3 right at the end of that hallway. I would say scroll up until you find the surface, then go 1 block down.
There's a tree there, though.
That's not ideal, so go 2 levels down then. And there's that. And that'll let you know, okay, you can do whatever you want up to about here. And then scroll back to where you were. And go down from there. I'd say about 15-ish.
There we go.
Now, for the main gate, it doesn't really matter too much what you make it out of, like when you actually make the bridge, the permanent one anyways. You'll want to make sure that you see where that 1 block,
That block.
2 to the right. So that is where you'll want the base of your bridge. Going across there and then across to the other side. And you'll want it to be drawn up to the right.
To the
That
right?
way, yes, because the right side of this fort, this river here, is where your actual fortress is going to be.
Okay.
I am being visited by a kitty. Psst, 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 psst. There you are. I heard him prowling around behind me. Sorry, kitty interruption.
No problem.
Especially this one, he doesn't visit me often. Hi, no eating that. He likes to try and eat plastic for some reason.
I don't think I've seen a cat that doesn't try to do that. To be honest.
Yeah.
What do you mean that cat doesn't visit you often? I thought that cat was very cuddly.
Yeah, but he doesn't visit me. He is Holo's and Rex's kitty. He only visits me when I'm sitting on the couch. And yes, what Sirio said there, basic fort safety, have only one entrance, and make it able to be sealed with a bridge, so you can hole up forever. Because basically, once you get that permanent bridge in there, you'll hook it up to some, you'll hook it up to some, a lever, and if danger comes, you close it up, after having your kobolds or dwarves go inside, of course, and just sit there forever. Until whatever's out there goes away. You can set up a military to fight them off, but at the same time, once I get you walked through a lot of this, you're going to have enough of a self-sufficient fortress that you could just survive forever. It's not as fun, because, well, Dwarf Fortress, the fun is losing, and that is just kind of stagnating a little bit. I mean, you still have plenty that you can dig out down there, but, you know. I'm going to go ahead and go back to my screen now and get things going a bit more here. And then I'll get back to walking you through things.
All right.
Yeah, you want to keep an eye out because there are underground caves that are very important to get into, but they can also be very dangerous. So you'll want to immediately seal it up at the start of the game if it were to happen. Later on, you can go and explore it if you want, but at least at the start you want to hole it up.
Noted.
Alright, so it looks like my kobolds have finished digging things out all the way down, which is excellent. So at this point, what I'm going to be doing is looking at what is surrounding my staircase. So here I've got black sand walls and then some loamy sand. Both of which I am pretty sure loamy sand. And again, another reason to have the wiki up. Because there's a lot of things in here, and some of it will work, some of it won't work. And there's also the fact that you literally have loamy sand and sandy loam in this game, which are two separate things. Loamy sand cannot be used as a source of sand for glass making.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah. But I've got the black sand to use for that, so, you know.
Yeah, black sand works. Just got boring old yellow sand here.
It all winds up the same color of glass anyways.
Yeah.
But black sand does, I think that looks nicer for myself.
Suit ya.
Okay, so... That's right, they did do away with an old thing where not all soils were actually able to be planted in. That is something relatively new. So all of this could be planted in. But I'm probably going to designate this layer for sand harvest. So what I'm going to do here is just kind of dig out a small area. I'm going to make this priority 5. Because it's not that major that my dwarves do it, but it's more of one of those, they should get to it eventually kind of deals. And I just went with a 9x9 area. It doesn't really matter how big you make it. But this zone, when it's dug out, will be for collecting sand. Which will be something, to deal with later. And then I go down a little bit further. Yeah, I do a 3x3 there. New Year's.
Oh?
If you were following along. Or, sorry,
Yeah,
a 3x1. For the entrance off of the stairs.
3x1.
Yeah.
Oops.
And then a 9x9 on connected to that. There you go. And that's more of a for later thing. I'm still paused for the record.
That's... Well, my dwarves have already finished the stairway down.
That's fair.
So,
So, going down another layer, I've got black sand, more black sand. I've got silty clay, which is useful for making, pottery and such.
however, not the fire clay.
No, fire clay is the best clay to get. It does not need to be glazed. There are multiple different kinds of clay in the game that have their own features. Oh, right, that's made out of kaolinite. Kaolinite is kind of similar to clay in how it's used in this game, while being a stone instead of clay. But if you find kaolinite, you're rich. You can turn that into porcelain, and porcelain sells like none other. But otherwise, let's see. Another layer down, I've got silt and limestone. Silty clay, again. Oh, that's silty clay loam as opposed to just silty clay. Welcome to this game. But yeah. So, looks like here I've just got a bunch of limestone and rock salt. Some sandstone. So it doesn't matter much what level of stone you go with. It's mostly a cosmetic choice in general. It can have an impact on what you can do later on. Because some stones are worth more than other things. I'm looking at the So, like, most stones are just a value of 1. But if you're wanting to make a particularly special location, you might want to find chalk, like I've got right here. Chalk is more valuable than other forms of stone. Marble's right there with it. Limestone as well. It's useful
They are
to refer to
all
the...
certain type of rock, aren't they?
Yeah. Most of the time you'll find primarily 1 or 2 types of stone on a floor. And in the current version of the game, the majority of the value of a room comes from the floor, actually.
Okay.
That said, your best bet is to build a... Like, if you're building nobles' quarters, you're going to want to try to get some gold and just put a few bars of gold down for the flooring. Like I do a little strip in the center of the room kind of deal. Because that tremendously increases the value in the room far more than furniture does. It may not always be that way, but right now it is with Dwarf Fortress. Keep in mind, everybody, that despite being out since 2006, this game is still in alpha. Not even beta.
Or we're going to be in perma-alpha. Almost. Been that long. Not a bad thing, though. It's a passion project. Things that very, very rarely reach a conclusion.
Very much so a passion project. But yeah, so you just want to take stock of what you have to work with around these walls. I've got some lignite, some coal here, some more chalk. You kind of want to chase a lot of these materials and take note of what's where. Because again, like I said, the value of it is based on the material. So like this chalk, I'm probably going to pick one of these layers with chalk and build my tavern there. If I can actually find one that is primarily, chalk.
In this case of mine, I do have one that's primarily chalk.
Okay. Cool.
Actually, two.
Very nice. So yeah, that aside, right, because I've also got clay here. I'm gonna go ahead and set an area for clay. I seem to have a huge mixture of places, of materials, so I'm just gonna go ahead and dig out here. Same way I did with the sand to try and get some to go with the clay there. Oh, you're good.
I just looked around on the edges of the river and there's some colonite there.
Very nice.
So it looks like if I can get there, and there's some that I'm not going to be able to get because it's in the river. I'm checking in.
Yeah.
So it's underwater there. But it should be some behind that.
I don't find it too difficult, especially with the Steam version Xeno, I will very much agree in the previous versions that could be incredibly tedious. Because they had two different ways of building things as opposed to designating stuff to dig out. But either way, this particular area, I've got sand and I've also got the clay. I don't have any fire clay, it looks like, which is unfortunate, but it's not a game breaker kind of thing. We've got a bunch of limestone here, which is one of those right on par with chalk. So I think this floor is where I'll build my, or at least plan to build my tavern. I also have a lot of silt here, so for me, I will definitely say that this beginning, the looks of this, of my fortress right now, with everything so mixed, is going to drive me crazy, because I like to have everything nice and neat. And the same color and material. So the fact that it's all mixed up like this bothers me on many levels.
I suppose your fortress is called Rainbow Spews, right?
Yeah, I suppose so. I often do my tavern around the stair, or build my tavern, the common room of it, around the staircase, and it does need to be fairly large. But the reason for this is if something does get into your fortress, you can use your tavern's common room for both where your dwarves will gather to eat, as well as you're going to potentially have guests that come. And a lot of the time, they are armed and armored, and will help defend if your fortress gets attacked and something has managed to sneak in without you being aware. So while my farms and such have to be up near the surface, because that's where all of the dirt and such is, the tavern being the next thing that they encounter going deeper into your fortress is what I prefer to have.
So does that mean you could theoretically use the tavern as an intermediary entry point into the rest of the fortress?
Yes, that is what I use it for.
Smart.
Though this one, like I said, this is bothering me. Because I don't have just nice, clean, all one material. I've got rock salt, I got bauxite, I got limestone. As for cave-ins, yes, there can be cave-ins. When I am designing my tavern, I'm just trying to decide where I want to put it because of the combination of materials here right now. I guess I can accept the chalk and conglomerate, because at least they are, you know, they're two different shades of brown, but they are at least two, you know, they're brown. I am going to go out on all four cardinal directions here. About... I'm gonna go 12 tiles out and make this a higher priority than 5. We'll go with 3.
Might as well do it on my chalk floor Z level as well.
Yes. And then what I do is I do not do the corners around the stairs. I do not dig those out. But then I will dig out like this. And then just kind of connect them on the four corners.
Yes, you can always build stuff. You can always build walls, right? So
Yes, you can. Yes, I mean freak bodyguards. Exactly, Xeno. Free soldiers. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and unpause and let them dig that out a bit. Something that I often wind up forgetting to do. Oh right, I forgot about that. I could have just done this up above because they made the floor all look the same. Derp. Well, either way, before you do anything, actually, don't forget to set your hotkeys. So I'm going to center on that and set tavern on this.
there we go.
And so as you can see, my kobold is going to work mining away. Looks like only one of them is working on that, though. Ah, yes, only one is. So, next up I'm going to go up to stocks here at the top. There's a stocks button there. And check how many pickaxes I have. You can do a search in the box there.
All right.
So you started with 5. Oh, right, because you reclaimed. So it had some copper picks left over.
So to get rid of the royalty.
Yeah. By default, you start with 3. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and go to my citizen menu in the bottom left. Go to the labor tab. And it would be easier if we had some migrants. So I might go ahead and leave it as just this miner working away at this for now. But when I get migrants in, I will absolutely assign some more of them to mining.
Well, it is late spring, so the next season comes along.
Yes, you often wind up getting more miners in. They pop up somewhat randomly, but it is in general in the spring or in the start of a season. Now, as for all of this, let me double check silty clay loam because that might not actually count as clay. Okay, that cannot be used as a source of clay for pottery. The wiki is important, everybody.
Too much silt and too much loam.
Yeah. So, even though it says clay, this cannot be used for pottery. So instead, while I can't do anything about this having been dug out, this area is still going to be useful later on as a pasture for my animals. So I'm going to go ahead and make that a bit bigger.
You joke, but loam literally means that it's like fertile soil. So loamy, silty clay is a clay that has a bunch of silt and soil in it.
Well, yes, but what does that have to do with the fact that I can't use it for clay? for pottery?
Well, it means that there'd be a lot of impurities, so it's not useful.
Fair. Fair.
Yeah, that is a fair assumption.
Alright, so silty clay. Does that count as a source? Okay, so my silty clay here does count as a source of clay for this. So we'll go ahead and dig out this little area here, see what we wind up with. Might wind up with a lot of empty, unused space, but that's okay. Next up on my list, I'm going to go ahead and dig over here. I'm going to make this priority 1 because we're searching for where we're going to be setting up our crops. This is on I know the silty clay loam is good for planting. So I'm looking for something that is good for that. It looks like we're running into a lot more silty clay loam here. So what I like to do is a 7x7 space. And this is where my farm is going to be. Or at least one of them. Each farm plot can only have one crop growing in it at a time. At the beginning, we're only going to be worrying about... Oh, that'll... Okay. So this here, we just came across the river a bit. On my side, at least. For you, New Year's, you're going to want to try and find... Wait, do you have peat?
So I have peat. I just checked it up, and peat is a soil type. So.
Oh,
I
right.
Actually, at one point I did play it, this particular version for a little bit. I had a mod that allowed you to do stuff with peat. I don't have it.
Yeah, that's... Yeah, in the game, it's just a place that you can... It's just like any other sand. So, might as well go ahead and dig off of that. I would do a 3x whatever hallway and then branch off of it.
Definitely this direction. Definitely to the right.
Yeah.
Oh, left, right.
So...
Don't know my left or rights.
Go up 1 block from where your mouse was. Right? No. Right there. And then 7x7. And I'd like to put a door in the middle of it, but you can put the door wherever. It's not technically needed, but that's what I like to do. In this case here, I should be safe to go ahead and dig these blocks out anyways. They are damp, but there'll still be a ceiling above. I'm just going to have to be wary of that later if I ever want to do anything else. So we're going to go ahead and enable damp dig and mark that to be dug out. Oh, right. It would help if I weren't paused. Okay, yeah. It looks like we're going to be fine on this. You do want to be careful about roots. As you can see here, there are these blocks here that are designated as willow roots. It means that there's a tree above it. Oh, yay, we do have mussels. Excellent.
That's something I didn't check. The fishing.
Your dwarves will probably already have been fishing a little bit. Usually they give you a fisher right away. Ah, yes, you do have some mussels there. If you scroll over, it's on top of your wagons. It's a little
Yep.
blue shell. Yeah, mussel shells.
A whole stack of them there and a few rotten mussels as
You
well.
are going to wind up with so many mussel shells, you will not be able to do anything with them all. You could have 20 dwarves working non-stop on mussel shell crafts and you will still have more. But that's okay, because most of them will just sit here on the banks of the river waiting to be used. But yeah, mussel shells are so useful for crafts, for the early game in particular. But yeah, what I was saying about roots. If you dig out this space where there is a root, and then you chop down the tree, it will delete the ceiling above it. So, like, I dig out these 3 blocks here. They're all labeled as willow roots. And then I go and chop down this willow tree. These 3 blocks will no longer be covered by a roof. So you want to be aware of that. In general, when you see roots, go chop down the tree first, then dig. I've had it happen. It might vary. There is a possibility that it varies on whether that is the case, Sirio. But in my experience, it does go with all of the blocks that you dug out, not just the one where the tree trunk was.
Regardless, it could still be a hazard, I guess, for flying enemies, giving them a nice little entranceway.
Or anything, really, because they can just jump down the hole.
Like, here's a nice little back door to your fortress. Let's go down it.
Exactly. Gotta be careful of that. Also, I am legit jealous of your setup with that waterfall. Man, I'd love to build there.
I mean, I remember you can search out for that sort of thing if you play around with the world options and that.
It's finicky at best.
But yeah, you're not always guaranteed to get it.
Yeah. But anyways, now that I've dug out this space for the farms, we're going to go ahead and hit the button with the hammer and the blocks. Then I believe it was under, yes. You'll go into workshops. Oh, you haven't dug out yours yet. I'd recommend making that priority 1. All that, whoa. Hold up. You selected those corners around the staircase.
Okay, yep.
There you go.
There we go. Okay, it seems that should have probably set that up.
Yeah, you click that one, make that. There you go, you got it.
There we go. Should work.
I'm gonna go ahead and pause here while I wait for New Year's to be able to catch up. And go ahead and kiss the Raijin. Mwah.
Aw.
Okay, I have one of the 2 done. Should be
Perfect.
enough.
Yeah, that's enough for now. So yeah, you click the hammer and blocks button, the build menu. Go to workshops. Then you'll go to farming. And then you'll see the farm plot. You select that. And we're going to go with a 5x5 in the middle of that area. And keep in mind that if you're going to be building a lot of stuff, you can check that keep building after placement. I basically always have it enabled just to have it going. And later on, when we have enough resources, I am going to go into all of these bases and build flooring around these farm plots. It is technically not required, but that's what I like to do for aesthetics.
That's important.
Yeah. Plus, I have heard, if I recall, sometimes crops can be trampled over, and either way, moving through them does slow them down a little bit, so it doesn't hurt to have a walkway around. The next thing we're going to do is go back up to the surface. And near my entrance here, I'm going to go into workshops again under the build menu. And I am going to make a stoneworker. And this one doesn't really matter what materials, so I'm just going to grab one of the logs there. This is going to be a temporary setup. This is just what I like to do so I can have everything consistent. And we're going to make some rock blocks with them. So to do so, you click on the workshop, click add new task, select make rock blocks. Make sure you pause it though, because... oh, right. They started trying to do it. Because you don't want them to go in and do it automatically. I'm going to click this magnifying glass and then determine what I want them to make it out of. Higher value stuff does make your dwarves happy. So in this case, I'm going to have them make some chalk blocks. You can, of course, use whatever methods you want on this. I'm just going to set it to... I'm going to fill up this menu with them making a bunch of blocks. I do know that they will make more than just one block for each of these. I forget the exact number, but...
I think it's 4, if I remember correctly.
I think you're right. But these chalk blocks are going to be useful later. Because the next thing we're going to be making is our workshop area and stockpile. I will say I know that there are ways to make things far more efficient that I am not going to go through. Because I'm too lazy to do that anyways, and it doesn't make it that more... it's not that beneficial. It is beneficial, just not enough to bother with that much work. Because, like, you can set up a stockpile to, you know, like this workshop here. I could set up a stockpile of blocks of rock here. That only feeds into this stoneworker's workshop, and then all of his blocks get put into a stockpile over here. That's like the most efficient way to handle all of this, so your haulers will move them right here, and your worker dwarf has very little they don't have to go very far to get what they need. I don't bother with that. The way that I've been doing it works very well for me. So I'm going to go find my tavern here. It is not done yet because I've been paused. But we're gonna go ahead and probably wait for this to get a bit more done. Oh, one of my cats has adopted a kobold. Hey, Shadow Wolf. Actually, while that is being worked on, while I'm waiting for the tavern to be done, let me go and actually explain how to use the farms. So, right now, you only need one farm plot, and the only plant that you really need to deal with is plum helmets. These will keep your dwarves going for so long by themselves. You go through the all 4 tabs at the top, so that way it'll be planted all seasons. But plum helmets can be eaten as is. They can also be turned into beer or alcohol. I don't know. I don't remember which specific variety of alcohol it gets turned into, but it gets turned into alcohol. What matters is alcohol.
The important thing is it's alcohol.
Exactly, because dwarves don't like to drink water. They will only drink water when they are injured, and even then they complain about it. But yeah, that takes care of the farming. You're pretty good to go on that. Like right now, once you get that gate set up, you are secure. There is still more to do before you get to that point, but I'm going to let my kobolds finish the digging out this tavern. I'll go ahead and actually assign some more miners through that labor menu. I'll go ahead and have my mason and caravan leader also help with mining for now. We'll change it up later, but you just click the check mark next to them. Oh yeah,
Crafter doesn't really have anything to do at the moment, so you might as well be doing something else.
Yeah, and your expedition leader is what I'd also say. And this is a temporary thing until later on. But I'm gonna go get some more water real quick.
This is why I have 2 bottles of water waiting for me at all times.
I do too, but they're both empty.
Fair enough.
Alright, I am back.
That's an interesting mix right there.
What's up?
Just in the chat.
Oh. Oh, hi, Mala. So yeah, we're almost done with this, but honestly, the tavern isn't that huge of a priority right now. So I'm gonna go down a few more floors. We'll say 5. And, ooh, tetrahedrite.
Nice.
Oh, hey, I got some migrants. So now I'm gonna go in here and redesignate who's actually set to mining. Oh, one of them is a miner already. Well, we'll just turn off the mason for now.
Yeah, I did not get very many, and I did not get a miner in that group.
No, but you got that gem setter that you can go ahead and make a miner.
Yeah. He'll be gem setters. Be useful later on.
Yeah, but right now you're still setting up. But yeah, on this floor, first things first, gonna set up the hotkey. And this I just call workshop. Now, the workshop is where things get a bit more complicated. We are going to dig off quite a ways, a 3-wide hallway. I'm gonna make it... we're gonna go with 32 blocks to start. Oh, right. Make sure that you do not have damp dig on.
Well, if there's anything damp under there, I'd be a bit worried.
You never know. It's always better to be safe than sorry, because caverns do tend to have water in them.
Fair enough.
But yeah, I'm going to make that priority 1, and then we're going to go down. So what this is going to be is this is going to be our workshop. We're going to go about here. And then these are going to be a few of our individual workshops themselves. They just need to be a 3x3 space. And this is kind of how I designate this area. As you can see here, I've got the 3 going down, and then the 1 right here. Technically, you could have a workshop that is accessible this way, but I don't like the looks of that, so I'm not going to do it. But technically that is a valid location, because your dwarves can move
Yes.
diagonal.
Why the 3 and 1 style like that?
Yep. And then I do the same on the top of that hallway. Prior versions of Dwarf Fortress did have so prior versions of Dwarf Fortress did have restrictions on where your dwarves could actually move through workshops. And so you had to be very particular about where you place them. But in the Steam version, they did away with that. Thank God.
I do remember that back in the day.
Mm-hmm. It was annoying. So this, like I said, I'm making it priority 1, and I did extend that, yeah, you're getting it, all the way down. This big area here is going to be for your stockpile. However, I like to set up multiple stockpiles. The reason for that being, your dwarves, if you have just one stockpile that accepts everything, your dwarves are going to put everything into that stockpile. And so if you've got a whole bunch of wood or stone, you know, those boulders,
Yep.
they're going to fill that up real fast. Oh! Apparently a honey badger tried to steal from me.
Doesn't give a care. Doesn't give a care. It's gonna have to steal from you.
Actually, it looks like it's not, Actually, it's not going to be able to even get to me because I've got a river on between it and me. So, ha!
It's gonna look at what it's gonna steal for just a whole long time, and then turn around and leave eventually.
Yeah.
Might be a few days.
Rajin cute dook doo doo dook. Rajin cute dook doo doo dook. Rajin cute dook doo doo dook. Rajin cute. Mwah. Oh, crap. Okay. So, I have run into the underground cavern. This is both a good thing and a bad thing.
A steadfast supporter.
Hello there, Foxtail Gaming. Thank you for that follow. Welcome in. So, at this point, what I am going to be doing. First off, we're pausing. We're going to go ahead and take a look at this cavern a bit. It looks like we have broken into the top of it. Which is beneficial. However, it does also mean that I am going to be canceling all of my dig orders over here. Because... well, actually, I could work with this. Like, this side of the cave isn't actually that, disruptive to my stockpile. So, actually, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and stick with this. It does mean I'm gonna have to build a whole bunch, but that's not a big deal. Yeah, you'll be notified when you run into the cavern. There are, in general, 2 to 3 caverns per fortress. They can be a little problematic to deal with because up here in general, I'm okay, which is why I'm willing to go ahead and deal with it. I can seal things off and make it fine. But, because I am up here at the top of it. Like, this is like 20 floors or more. Holy crap, this thing just keeps going down and down and down. Ah, there's the bottom of it.
That is big.
Ugh. Holy crap, this is a tall freaking thing. I have never seen one this tall of open space. But either way, yeah, this is a cavern. They are very beneficial. When you break into your first one, all of your underground areas, like where your farms are, and this whole area is going to start getting populated by floor fungus, which is something that your grazing animals can eat. I'm not going to do it yet because I want to wait for some of it to actually grow before I move my animals in here. But
Understandable.
yeah, we don't want to do that until after they actually have something to eat. But yeah, all this floor that can be used for farming can grow that floor fungus and various other plants that you'll find down here. But with this, yeah, we're kind of in a slight bit of trouble that we're going to have to work hard to overcome as fast as possible. So what I'm going to do now is come up here to the surface and get my stoneworker to make a couple of things for me. First off, I want them to make a table, which I will just go and have made out of chalk. A throne, which is also going to be made out of chalk. Because we need to get a manager, so I can actually set up workshop orders. So you're looking for, yeah, rock table and rock throne.
Got plenty of... chalk's more valuable, right? So...
Yeah.
Got plenty of mudstone, but... they don't want to sit on mudstone.
Yeah, mudstone is what I would use for the floor and walls down here, but I want to get a manager to actually handle telling people to make this stuff for me. So meanwhile, normally what I would do, like if I had broke it into this closer, like if I were just digging around and broke into this, I would have canceled all of my digging orders and put a wall right here. Because this is where I broke in. And then I would have gone and dug somewhere else. At least for now. Once I've got a proper military setup, then I might go explore the caverns. But right now, no. I do generally reserve one get out of jail free card for me for every fortress, where, like, if a Forgotten Beast shows up, I can just delete it with Dwarf Fortress, or with DF hack. Dwarf hack. I reserve one get out of jail free card for whatever situation I may need it for. And you know, this is a single player game. If you want to cheat, go for it.
If you don't tell anybody, nobody will know. Unless you stream it, of course.
Exactly. But either way. Wait, what do you mean you lost your pick? Did you just, like, throw your pick into the cavern? I swear if I scroll all the way down here and find a pick down here. Okay. Looks like you didn't do that, at least. Holy crap, this is a tall cavern. I have never seen one this tall. Oh, apparently the honey badger found its way over. But my dogs are taking care of it. And there's a giant cave spider fighting something. Oh, that's apparently on the surface here. Oh, wait! Apparently I have a friendly giant cave spider. Cool! I did not realize that. I must have come in with the kobolds. With the migrants.
Okay.
Yeah, I got lucky with this, with all of this. I really should not have, wound up with getting this lucky with this game. I do see I have a problem, though. And that is that I am running out of alcohol. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and come up here to the tavern. And we're going to make this priority 1. And what I like to do is make a large kitchen area. So this is going to be the main entrance into the kitchen area. Right here. Actually, we'll go ahead and make it. We'll do this and then that. And then like right here is where I'll put one of my brewers, one of my stills, and I generally like to have 3 stills and 3 actual kitchens. And I just make this an open floor plan kind of setup. I don't wall them in specifically. I'm going to dig out around them on all sides. So actually, I'll just go ahead and do that now to demonstrate. So there you go. I actually managed to calculate that perfectly, and I just kind of went and did it. We'll give them a couple of extra entrances. Here, nope, that won't be the same. There. The kitchen isn't really needed. Right now, you're just making, right now, you're making plump helmets, which can be eaten as is. It won't make your dwarves really happy, but, you know, right now I'm focused on you just surviving your first year or so. But yeah, we're gonna get that still going so they can start making alcohol. And down here, we are going to smooth out some stuff so they can actually get to work. To smooth out stuff, it just makes it look nicer. It does help your dwarves with the opinion of the location a bit more. Not strictly necessary, but it's what I like to do, so that's what I'm gonna do. And if you don't like it, too freaking bad.
It's more important to smooth it out if you're playing the ASCII version, because then you can actually see what's inside your fort instead of it looking like a mess.
Yes,
Very
that is true. So yeah, to smooth out an area, you hit this little smooth tile button. It's pretty obvious, and then the automatic option there is just right there. And you just select and mark the area that you want smoothed out. I do know that I've got tetrahedrite here that I'll want to mine out later, but right now it is not a priority.
I mean, wouldn't tetrahedrite be more valuable than the normal stone anyway?
Yes, but it doesn't really matter that much for the workshop. It does slightly improve their mood, but not enough to really go all out.
Fair enough.
So I see that you've just entered autumn. Your first caravan is going to come in somewhat soon. So you want to get your workshop set up and going ASAP here.
Yep.
What I would say that you do is go ahead and go into the build menu, workshops, and then select crafts. I'm going to go ahead and build mine right here using those chalk blocks that I made earlier.
Sure.
You do want to wait for it to be smoothed out first.
There's a suspend construction option on it, so
I would
always use that.
Yeah, that would work.
So just wait until it's done and then unsuspend it. I noticed that earlier. I clicked on the construction.
Yeah. And then down here, gonna go in and move my stoneworker down here into the underground. And I'm actually gonna make 2 of those for now. And I'm gonna come back up here to where they finished digging out this area. I'll go ahead and slow down a bit for you. Okay, they haven't finished yet. But you're also not that priority on drink like I am. I have 3 drinks left. Oh boy. So yeah, I'm gonna have them smooth out just the area for the still right now. Sirio, I believe that all of them come in the early winter. But I could be wrong on that. I'm pretty sure it's the first week of winter that they arrive. Either way, you're gonna have one. Yeah, either way, you're gonna have one coming very soon.
Okay, we have an alert. And that is Clippy.
Yeah, go ahead and right click. That might
think it just bugged on me.
I think it
Yeah,
did.
that is bugged on me.
Either way, that's just letting you know that the merchants have come. Or are... Oh yeah, the merchants are here. So, a little late to trade with them this year.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Could've got some nice deals, couldn't we?
Honestly, not really. You don't usually have a whole lot that you could get the first year. If you move fast enough, you can.
Okay, I might have to restart this, unfortunately.
You can't hit OK on that?
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we just got it done just after they arrived.
Yeah. Which, speaking of, on the surface for now, away from your entrance a little ways, because you don't want it... Because you're going to secure your entrance better later, but a little ways away from there, you do want to go into the build menu and make a trade depot. And
Okay,
I'm just going to use logs, yeah. It's a temporary thing, so it's not a big priority. Alright, I got my chalk table and throne. Perfect. So, with that original Stoneworkers Workshop, I'm going to select it, and there's that little house icon with the cancel sign above it. That is to remove it.
Build it. Okay.
And now, just temporarily, in my tavern, I'm going to go ahead and have them put the table and chair down. To do so, you go into the build menu, then furniture, select the table, place that, and then the chair. Because your manager needs a office. And the game is not that particular about it needing to be a very fancy office for the manager. I do like to make little mansions for them because, well, if I'm going to give fancy mansions to somebody that just sits on their ass and calls themselves a king, I'm going to make sure that the hardworking manager that makes sure this fortress even runs is going to have a nice place to live too. Just not quite as fancy as the king, but you know. It'll be fancier than other dwarves. So it looks like they got a lot of that dug out as well. So go ahead and smooth out that 5x5 area.
Up here, I think.
Yeah, you can do stills up there. I like to do kitchens on the top and stills on the bottom, but that's an entirely personal preference. But otherwise, you'll go into workshops. I believe it's under farming? Yes. Go into workshops, farming, and then the still. And I'm going to make that out of chalk block.
Wait until the area around is smooth there. Of course, the one I was waiting for is the last one to be smoothed.
Oh, of course.
Oops. Cancel that, because I just done out ordinary chalk.
Alright, did you get the table and chair placed?
They are placed, and somebody looks like this.
Oh yeah, your dwarves will very happily go and use anything that you place down right away. You know that fancy bed you placed down for the king? Yeah, you know the person that placed it is going to go take a nap in it right away.
Okay, looks like the traders made it to the trade depot.
Okay, cool. They still arrived. So I'll go ahead and walk you through that real quick. Bring up your screen here. So go ahead and click on the trade depot. And click on move goods to/from depot. So right now, you don't really have much of anything to trade. But just for the sake of this tutorial, go ahead and click on rough gems. And just click a couple of those items to bring up.
Got and a couple of rose quartzes, 'cause that's what we got most of.
Yeah. That'll be good enough for now. Later, like next time they arrive, your next fortress, you'll be able to do this much quicker. I've kind of spent a lot of time explaining things, which is why we don't have any crafts available yet.
Fair enough.
But normally you'll have crafts that are separated into various categories like crowns, earrings. You'll see those categories there on the left. And you'll want to be careful not to bring up anything that is named. If it's got a fancy name on it, it is an artifact from them having a strange mood. You don't want to sell those, because that can be very problematic. Unless, dire circumstances. Because they're very valuable. So if you are completely out of food and stuff and desperately need to get things going, go for it. Sell it. But just be aware that the person that crafted it may go on a tantrum. And you may have a lot of injuries. But otherwise, you've selected some items, so you can go ahead and right-click. Just right-click. Anywhere.
Okay.
So now your dwarves are going to bring those items up there. So go ahead and click on the trade depot again. And you can see there it says waiting 6 items. Oh, you're paused, so go ahead and unpause.
Yeah, just mainly just to be sure.
Oh, you don't have a broker. Go into that crown menu down there in the bottom left. Go ahead and click OK on that tutorial there. And you want to assign a broker. So go ahead and click that plus sign. And looks like your best one would be that gem setter, so go for it.
Congratulations, Cuddle.
So go ahead and right click. And you'll want to wait for those items to be brought. Like you can see, it's counting down because they're bringing them up. And go ahead and select broker requested at depot. Right there, yeah.
He's there.
Now click trade. So this is where you can see all the items that they brought, as well as your items on the right. Go ahead and hit that check mark next to rough gems on your side. So that'll automatically have all of that category added to your trade. And you can see down there in the bottom left, Trader Profit 84. Anything that you trade for is going to count against that. So let's go ahead and scroll down, and my priority when I am trading is always going to be drinks and a little bit of food. So
I only got 40 left, so
yeah, but for the sake of the tutorial here, we're going to find something here. Well, that's a milk. You're not going to be able to afford anything, really, with what you're offering. But we can find something cheap down there to just throw in there. Keep scrolling further and further. You are running a little low on food, so might as well grab some food. That's closer to the bottom. You can click those categories. Oh, wait. Bags. Bags are a high priority. Bags are a pain in the ass to craft yourself. So there's a Kakapo leather bag there that's only 10.
Only 10, that one there.
So you see how the trader profit turned to green? You want to make sure that it is green. You are going to suffer a loss from any trading. However, that's just kind of the way it works. I believe there was another bag there that was 10 as well. Or that cave silver, that might work as well.
That one.
Yes.
A giant grey squirrel leather bag.
Bags are useful for gathering clay, or no, not clay, for gathering sand, as well as they hold your seeds.
There was, wasn't there one? There's one there with quicklime in there. Gypsum plaster.
Those aren't really a priority.
And flour. So, okay.
Well, your main priority is looking at the value there and the items on what they actually are. Bags with stuff inside them are not as useful because, well, they've already got stuff in them. But like that Dimple Cup spawn bag there, that would be a good value item.
80.
Because that is basically seeds. Yeah, you're not going to be able to afford it right now, but for future reference, that would be the kind of thing that you want to go for. Seeds are high priority. At least for me. I like to give my dwarves a varied diet. I guess next up, go ahead and scroll down a bit more and grab some of that cheap leather and cloth.
The 5s.
Yeah, just a few of those.
Going down.
Cloth is very expensive. You're probably not going to find it much cheaper than that 17.
Yeah, most of the stuff. There's a couple of 17s there. This seems. Ooh.
Alright.
Changed from green to.
Yeah, which
to
means
orange. Or yellow, sorry.
Sometimes they will accept the trade even if it's yellow. However, they will not be pleased with it. And they may just decide not to show up next year at all, or bring less stuff. Or something along those lines.
Yes, we have to keep them a little bit happy.
Yeah. But you can still try and, like, grab those goat spleens for 10. Oh, I guess you can't even afford that. So, I think
yellow.
I think you probably are getting as much as you're going to be able to, sadly.
Wow, that backpack is so expensive.
Yes. There are some items that are like, really? Why are you charging this much for this?
A cedar crotch for
That, good sir, I assure you that is the finest crutch you will ever hobble along the ground on. So at this
seems to be quite expensive as well.
Yeah.
I guess that makes sense.
But at this point, you just click that green trade button in the middle. And then hit yes, proceed.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you for your business.
And now you've got your new items in your trade depot if you right click to get out of there. I wouldn't bother scrolling through that because that's all of their items as well. Wait until after they leave. So now click your trade depot again. And click no trader needed. That frees up your trader from sitting there. Now, in the upper left there, you see you've got the diplomacy button. Go ahead and go into that. Occasionally they will come in, give you some news about the world. You won't actually see that news here. Honestly, I don't know how to access that news. It doesn't really matter that much. But yeah, you just hit OK again.
Mention added to Civilization's world info.
Yeah, it's somewhere.
Wow.
And this is where you can request something, particular things for them to bring. I tend to go down to seeds, and that's really the only thing that I request. So I would do a check mark for those plump helmet spawn. They are going to charge more for it when they do arrive. However, it's going to basically guarantee that they bring it.
Fair enough.
This normally is only available to you from your actual faction. Other traders will just bring whatever the hell they feel like bringing. But yeah, when you're done selecting things that you want, you can hit done.
Yeah, I guess I'll just stick with that for now. There we go. It is priced at double the price.
A little bit more
And a little
than
bit.
that.
That's expensive, actually.
Yeah.
It's anything like the old system. The old system was a bit more complex, if I remember correctly.
No, this is actually about the same.
Like you'd change the ASCII version when I remember back.
Oh, yeah.
Change how much you wanted it.
Yeah, you could change how much you wanted it. Thankfully they got rid of that.
I don't know. I kind of like the idea you could actually do that, but that's just me.
Yeah, I didn't like the price increase.
Okay, so they want crowns.
So, one downside to mussel shells is that they will not craft crowns. They will make any other craft that you want out of mussel shells, except for crowns. But you could make stone crowns and sell those for more for next year.
And it gets rid of stone. So I could use a really bad stone, or I could use a good stone if I wanted to. Depending on if I want to get rid of stone or want to make more money.
In general, what you are going to be trading away is about huge numbers of crafts as opposed to high value crafts.
Trash, right, got it.
Yes, you're getting rid of trash with the traders. I also tend to go through my clothing that I have in my fortress, and if anything is, tattered and worn out and my dwarves won't wear it anymore, it's like, hey, trader! Here, have this. I'll take that gem in return.
Lovingly used.
Lovingly used, yes. I don't need to know what you're doing with that sock later. Just take it. Just take it.
Anyway. And then that's gone. That can disappear because that's got to do with the caravan. Guess I run it for a little bit. Doesn't mean I can't make shell crafts as well, though, I guess. But
real quick.
I guess I'll... Yep.
Let's go ahead and take care of that table and chair real quick.
Table and chair. Good. Yes.
So what we're going to do is go down to this green square button with the dwarf face.
Okay.
That is for zoning. In here, you're going to want to select office. And then you just give a little area around that table and chair. Hit accept. And then assign that... Oh, right. Before you do that, go into the... Before you assign it, go into your nobles menu. That's the crown.
Is down here.
Yeah. So in here, your manager. You're gonna want to assign somebody in there.
Leader is an adequate organizer.
Sometimes the leader kind of causes issues with having the same person assigned to multiple tasks. So I just pick some random person. I'd say... Oh boy, you don't have any good options there. I'd say go ahead and go with the expedition leader for now then. And then go ahead and exit out of that with the right click. And then go back into that green square button.
Okay, don't show it again.
Now you can click that and assign it to your expedition leader. And there you go, your manager has an office.
There's a few lumps of chalk around it.
Yeah.
Got plenty of writing material.
Yeah.
Give me a slate.
On my side of things, I have the broker and the manager are combined into one with the kobolds. That's the only real difference that I've seen. Which isn't necessarily a bad idea. You could have used your broker instead. They would, that would give them, you know, something to do while, you know, the trader isn't here. It doesn't matter a whole lot what their current skill is. Because they'll level that up on their own. And it just determines how quickly they approve of stuff. So for me, it's called a caravan voice. I'm just going to go ahead and... Okay, I've got a Gelder here. Sure. You can be my, you can be the voice here. You can be my manager. I don't have any use for a Gelder right now. God. Oh yeah, I've got a very important job in the fortress. My job is just to go and cut off nuts.
Not cut off, it's harvest.
I don't think they do anything with those nuts afterwards.
Yeah, probably not, but still. It doesn't bring up as many eyebrows.
You know, fair. Fair. But yeah. So, one last thing, or a couple more things that I'm going to go over here before I call it for this evening. You've got your manager assigned, so now you have access to actually doing work orders, which is the little clipboard icon. So in here, there are a few different things that I like to set up. First off, bins. Make bin, no, it's wooden bin. Yeah. So you can search in the box there. It's a little difficult sometimes. But there you go. Yeah, you found it. So make wooden bin. By default, it's just going to be a one-time thing of 10 of them. However, I'm going to walk you through a little bit more advanced stuff here. If you click
Okay.
the less than, greater than sign over here on the right.
And equal and not equal.
Yeah. This allows you to set conditions. So in this case, they've got some suggested conditions down here. Amount of empty bins available is less than 10. That's the one we're going to go with for this. So with that set up, every time that you have less than 10 empty bins available, your manager's going to tell your carpenters to go make some more wooden bins. There's a lot that you can do with this. A lot of playing around. You do not have to go even with these suggested conditions. There's a lot more that you can do. Like, for example, amount of logs is greater than 10. Might not be a bad idea to add that. So that way, if you've got, you know, a scarcity of logs, you make sure that you always have some logs on hand. It also is very
Especially if you're
beneficial.
using a lot of them.
Oh, yeah. And it's also very beneficial to make sure that you have some of as many different types of materials as possible on hand, because you never know when a dwarf's going to have a strange mood and want a log or a piece of silk or whatever they demand, and then they'll go berserk and try to kill everybody if they don't get it.
Oh,
So-
lovely.
Yeah, it's good to make sure that you're not running out of a type of resource. So when you're doing these conditionals, it's good to have something like that set up. That is true, Sirio. There are a lot of forts that die to cat overpopulation. Yes.
I've heard of that. I've heard of that in the past.
There are
That's
also
what the good
drunk cats, but we'll not get into that. Also, going ahead and right-clicking, like, you can adjust these things if you want. I think those settings are good for now. But otherwise, in this menu again, you can also specify a material using the magnifying glass. I'm not going to bother with that because I don't care what material, what kind of log they make the wooden bin out of. But it can be useful for certain things, like if you're making a whole bunch of cabinets for your dwarves' rooms. You might want to make sure that they are all the same type of rock. Mostly for the sake of it looks uniform.
Yeah. Or making weapons. Make sure you don't use the crappy metals and use the good ones.
Yes, exactly. Well, those you do assign. Like, if you actually are trying to make a short sword, for example, you have to specify, but that's not a bad example in general. Hey there, Val.
Forget about that.
The next thing that I recommend is wooden barrel for making booze. And we're going to do it the same way as the wooden bin. Same conditions on it as overall, you know? Empty barrels, less than 10. The amount of logs, greater than 10. And that's just to make sure that you have barrels on hand. In my case, so on my screen here, you see that amount of empty barrels is less than 10. Not satisfied for next check. That means... Sirio? Okay, so a bit of an advanced lesson. You are able to find out what your dwarves like. If you want to deal with that much micromanagement, you can figure out what your dwarves like, make furniture out of those materials, set up their room, assign them to that room, and then have them be happier. However,
That sounds like
that is a freaking lot to manage, especially when you get to 200 dwarves.
you know what that's good for?
Joke.
The nobility.
Yes. Well, somewhat. Because they want to have high value stuff, even though they may like the look of Mudstone. They like Mudstone, but they also want to have a royal throne room. That's going to hold you back just a bit. But you can do that. I'm just letting you know that you can.
That's something valuable that makes up for it. Not everything has to be made out of mudstone.
But either way here, like you can see here on my screen, amount of empty barrels is less than 10, not satisfied for next check. That is because I do currently have in my fortress at least 10 empty barrels. Which means that this work order will not be done, because I've got enough to not need to make more. Amount of logs is greater than 10. That's satisfied, meaning that that condition is satisfied. I do have more than 10 logs. Sirio? Fuck you. In the kindest way. I am not going to go in and give 200 fucking dwarves a private room with a private bed, private kitchen, private dining room, all of that stuff, all with all of the stuff that they like. No. If you want to do that, the game is on Steam. Buy it, download it, play it, do it yourself. I'm not doing it. My kobolds are here to serve me, Mala, not the other way around. I am also not giving them a private workshop, Sirio. Also, hi there, Wolf Bandit. Hi, Vari. Hi, Burl. I love how when I start to get all worked up here is suddenly when all of the chatters pop into the chat. The chat's been mostly quiet this whole time, and now I'm getting animated, and suddenly I've got 6 people that have popped up in the chat.
What will they ask for next? Ask for clothing with particular colors?
Yes, they can do that. And now I'm being assaulted with glow sticks. And other things. You've been enjoying Sim teaching a game ASMR? But anyways, those are the 2 primary things that I tend to set up. Eventually I'll like to move to making stone jugs instead of wooden barrels. They're the same thing. It's just, you know, you're not using wood. And stone is a bit more, you know... Stone is a bit more common, but also not. It's technically a finite resource, but you can use it for a lot more other options than just making jugs.
But hey, pretty sure you need to power up, you know, things like glass and, you know, metal production with some sort of fuel, and wood's the most easiest and common wood out there.
Right, you are correct there, Sirio. It's large rock pots, not jugs. You're right. Thank you. Yeah, they change around the names with various materials. Like, for example, If you want to make a... If you want to make a chest, it's, you know, a wooden chest. But if you want it made out of rock, you're looking for rock coffer. At least I believe that's it. And if you want it made out of glass, it's going to be a glass box. So, another good reason to have the wiki open. So you can find comparisons to them for, you know, whatever. You can find the different names for them through that. Here's the thing, Val. If a kobold does not like what I'm doing, I send them to the breeding pits. Then they get to have some fun, and they're happy again. Problem solved. But anyways. The next thing that we're going to do for myself here, that, because I really need some rock blocks to fill in that area, and I want it all to look uniform. So I am going to look here and see what I've got the most of right now, which looks to be bauxite. So I used the magnifying glass to have it make bauxite blocks. So these 3 buttons here will limit how many shops and how many workshops will this work order will be assigned to. If you've got a bunch of workshops and you want to make sure that, you know, they're not all being used for bauxite blocks, for example, and like maybe just one shop is going to work on that, you know, you got the option there. This other one over here is how you change how many you are actually ordering. So I'm going to set that to 100 for now. So these icons here on the left, which honestly it probably is a good idea for you to go ahead and set up a work order for some blocks as well. I'm probably going to do another one. Yeah. Having rock blocks on hand is always a good idea. This one will be for chalk.
So I guess mine will be our mudstone, so I'll keep the chalk for something else.
Yeah, that works. And I just set them both to 100. Yeah, the plus and minus is one at a time. No, right click. Oh, you're wanting to do a conditional for it?
Well, I wasn't there. Okay.
Yeah,
That's
so to actually type out how many you want, you click that little pound sign.
okay.
And then you can just type whatever number you want.
No, we'll just leave it like that, just for sakes.
So at this
There
point,
is something as making too many blocks anyway, so
yeah. So at this point, if you ever need to get rid of a work order, of course you got that trash can there.
yeah.
Or on your screen, it's an X, apparently. Oh, right, I've got a mod that changes the interface a little bit for some things. Weird that they changed that, because, you know, X was kind of worked, but oh well. It'll normally be an X for you guys, unless you have the mod I've got. But at this point, your manager is gonna... You can go ahead and exit out of that and unpause. And your manager's gonna go over to this table and chair and approve those. And like in my case, that was done really freaking fast. So yeah, he's already gone in, approved them. The ... the little yellow icon in in here means that, you did not meet the conditions, so it's not actually going to be done, but it is waiting. They'll recheck it later.
It was daily, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So it's common enough.
Another work order that you should probably do, actually. Brew drink from plant. And this is also going to be a conditional one.
Okay.
One sec, gotta take meds.
You're alright.
Oh yes, Seamus. He tastes like lemons. But yeah, in here, I like to have it happen over and over. Amount of drinks. Right now, less than 10 is fine. Well, actually, I'm probably going to increase that to amount of drinks available is less than 50. And have it keep going from there.
Let's go with 30 on mine.
Yeah, that'll work. And otherwise, that's really it that I would work on here. I would double check. Let me remember where it is. What is this? Oh, right. Under labor, you're going to want to go to kitchen. And in here, you're going to want to make sure, Dwarf Hack, I believe this is Dwarf Hack that's doing it. I don't think it's on by default.
No,
but you're
I
going to
don't
want to
think
make sure that your seeds are not able to be cooked with or brewed with. So,
yeah, it looks fine. So it's automatically done it.
Yeah. But it is something that you'll want to check here and there. And apparently I have prepared dog brains in my fortress.
Not exactly the best meat you can have.
They'll eat anything, I swear. But yeah, that is that. Another thing that you could do as well is assign your manager to also being your stockkeeper or bookkeeper in your case.
Bookkeeper, yep.
Yeah, your manager can also be your bookkeeper, which I think you set that to your expedition leader. I would say make it your broker.
Oh yeah, sure.
Just to spread it out a bit. The bookkeeper will also need a office, but they can go ahead and handle both of those jobs pretty easily. Oh, geez. Very nice, Seamus. Now, on the right here, it's automatically set to 5. That is going to have them make sure that they count right down to the, single digit on all of your items. Right at the beginning, this doesn't really matter much. But later on, when you know you've got hundreds or thousands of a single item. Basically, the way that this works is... Well, actually, go and click 1. It'll show you how that works right there at the top. So, like, with 1, it'll determine... so, it looks like with 1, it'll be to the 10th. Or, no. Wait.
So basically anything after 10 will be rounded up. And...
yeah. It'll be rounded to something else. Yeah, that's how it's working. It is late. My brain ain't working so well anymore. But mostly your stock keeper is kind of just working on stuff anyway, or your bookkeeper is working on stuff anyways. It doesn't hurt to have them at 5.
I guess especially once you have a bigger fort, you have plenty of
other people to do the work.
Power. So by that time, you just have the one guy just doing it all the time.
Well, you only ever have one bookkeeper, but it's more that you're not feeling the loss of them being able to work on other stuff as much when you've got a bigger fortress. You know, more dwarves in there, because having one person that is just sitting there going around doing inventory, you got 199 other dwarves that are working on stuff. Oh, one sec.
Oh dear.
Yeah, I need to do a computer restart because the audio thing is glitching a little bit. But it's alright. But yeah. So right now, what I would say to do next is to come down here to your workshop, select your craftsman dwarf workshop, add new task, select shell, and make shell crafts.
There's a shell crown there.
Oh. Well, they can't make it out of muscle shells.
Okay.
Yeah. Or at least I'm pretty sure they can't.
I guess there's only one way to find out.
Yeah, you could specifically specify it. I typically just go with general crafts, but yeah.
Considering they want crowns, if it works, well,
I would
recommend putting it in the barrel roads.
I would recommend that you double check on it later. But yeah, otherwise you got that little repeat button to just have them do that forever. Eventually,
he's working away there. There is somebody there.
Oh, right. It's not crowns that they can't make. It's scepters. Sorry. There is one craft that they cannot make out of shells.
Yeah, there's no scepters there.
My bad. Derp. Which isn't relevant to you right now, but you know.
Let's be fair. This game has a lot of things in it. I remember playing it back in the day. There's so much you can do with so much things to make there, and everything's named differently every now, different materials and stuff like that.
Oh yes.
Keeping that all in your head is pretty hard.
Yeah, it is. Which is why, again, the wiki, have it open. Just have it open every time you're playing. But I think this is where I'm going to be calling the stream here for tonight. But would you be available tomorrow about the same time to continue?
Tomorrow is Saturday for me. I got to stream tomorrow. Unfortunately, I got a set stream for that.
Well, yeah, you can stream this before it.
No, what I mean is I do the same thing each week on that day.
Ah.
Going through it until I complete it. Unfortunately, tomorrow I've got that, and earlier on, a friend of mine wants me to head out to a local game store. It's gonna be the last time I can play Magic the Gathering with them for quite some time.
Oh. Yeah, definitely
So
enjoy. What's up?
Nothing. Yeah, I was just gonna say. So they changed the day for the commander at my store, and because they did that, my friend could only get down there on one day. They can't get there anymore after this week.
That does suck.
It
Well,
happens though.
definitely hope you enjoy. We also need to get you a proper talkie icon.
I may be up for that. Yeah.
Well, Whiskers is open and was looking for commissions. But,
Yeah.
either way, we'll figure out when we'll do this next.
Sure.
Next time, I might go ahead and continue this fortress myself. And next time, I might go ahead and just have your screen up and walk you through things more directly with your fortress. I think that might be a better way to
decide
do it.
and don't do anything until the next time. Maybe make one of my own. And,
I mean,
experiment a little bit on the things you taught.
Go for it. There's definitely a few tricks that I want to teach you still, at least because my goal is to at least get you able to survive. Beyond that, you're free to explore as you please. But yeah, for now, thank you everybody for joining us today for Dwarf Fortress. Check out our website, zgfgaming.com. We've got links for our Discord, Telegram, Mastodon, Blue Sky, Patreon, and more. There on the website, as well as down in the description below through our link tree. Thank you to my patrons, tippers, and subscribers. It is your support that keeps this channel alive and going. I cannot do this without your guys' help and your support, so thank you. Consider becoming a patron over at patreon.com/zgfgaming. It's one of the best ways to support the channel, though you can also do so by sharing the stream around, as well as coming by, hanging out, grabbing packs of cards to stream loots, using our Humble Bundle partner link, or subscribing to us over on Streamloots as well as YouTube. And of course, don't forget to check out New Year's Kitsune over here on Twitch. They're the one that I've been teaching tonight, and well, hopefully you'll see them streaming Dwarf Fortress in the very near future. But for now, thanks so much for joining, and I bid you all the most fondest adieu.
Bye-bye.